We are live. Peace and blessings. Peace, blessings, power, love. It's all about love and appreciation. That's why we're here. I am Source Energy, God, Coach King Malik, and my young God Kings. They can introduce themselves. I am one of the universe's best examples of unlimited love and eternal power. Coach God King Malik. I am.
King Son the First, Crisis Creations, and Wise Flow. Much appreciation, much love to everybody.
Amir McCullers. I also go by the nickname Amirsphere. I look forward to sharing valuable information with y'all that's willingly able to assist you all to a newer level of vibration, now and infinitely.
May infinite healing and wellness be upon you and yours. Nasir McCullers, my eye, also known as KS3 Revolutionary, where we raise the vibration, shift your consciousness, and continue to reinstill self-awareness within through being the example of doing as such. We will and continue to enjoy every single second, every now, and we will and you take from this, you receive from this different takeaways and points that will assist with your growth within as well, and something you're able to pass on to somebody else to assist.
In major love, honor, respect, cherishment, and appreciation to everybody for joining. My name is Malik Hamad McCullers, and I am beyond grateful to be here today, to spread the love we have as well as the information, that we are sharing today and putting out, to the universe. And I just appreciate you all's time. I appreciate whoever stopped by. Appreciate you all, coming through, and we, continue to move forward in the right direction.
Please like and subscribe to the video if you like it. If it resonates with you, please share. We just want to elaborate on a few things, and just things that we talk about and things that I've had to deal with in my life, and I've seen people deal with, and just the experiences. So we wanted to get right to it, and the topic is should we love our enemy? Okay, so I want to go from the perspective of starting out initially, just from a religious and a religion, religious group in terms of belief systems and things of that nature. Love, okay, y'all hear me on all of these. If I'm on here at all, I'm always expressing love, 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 peace, love. But I don't want to be misunderstood about how I, interpret love and how I share love and how I show love. And my intention is because, that's one of my mantras, like show love, be love, commit, support love, create love, like, operate in love, just do everything in love. You know what I'm saying? That from that perspective. So, but in that perspective as well, it's a yin and a yang. It's two different sides to that. So if I'm saying love, 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 should we love our enemy? Okay. So this is the topic from all the religions that I've ever studied or been a part of, which have been quite a few from my studies and just wanting to be a better human being and learn who I am and what I have to offer. I've learned that love in Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, uh, Jehovah being a Jehovah Witness, being whatever it is, everything, and that's even being one with the source, like one with the creation. Love is the key element to everything. Like that's what it is. It's not anything but love is the key. Like it's got a lot of things that you must do in service. Okay, you got responsibilities and all of these belief systems that you must do. You got to pray. You got to be faithful. You got to share. You got to be. But love is like the key to all of them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it pretty much looks like.
Yes,
Everything results to that. They say God is love. Okay, so if these religions and everything are based upon what a base of God, then love should be the basis. Okay, so love, love your enemy. I have a different take on, loving your enemy respectfully. My take on an enemy is someone who is not supportive of, not you know, not has no good benefit. And this is not a dictionary definition. And one of y'all look that up, so y'all tell me what the definition of enemy actually is.
I got you.
Okay, but I'm saying from the perspective of me growing up, an enemy is a op. An enemy is somebody who don't like you. You generally don't like them, and it's generally for a reason. It's not because you just saw this person, they became an enemy. Okay, sometimes people are like that because they got that slow shit going on. But respectfully, general speaking, people, especially melanated people, we just don't look at each other and have enemies. That's not the core, even though it seems that's what it looks like. But I feel that's because, okay, we're given some really, really serious and awkward definitions of what, you know, the enemy is based upon if we're supposed to love them. Okay, if my enemy is someone who's against me, I know means me no well. Should I love him? Should I love him to the point where, I think that the creator, the God that's however, whatever God you serve or however you believe it is going to change your enemy's heart and make your enemy love you? Is that the reason for loving your enemy? Or is it, because loving your enemy could, like, what will it do for you in terms of, like, if you have a serious enemy or op that is in a position to change life for you, and that's an enemy, you're supposed to love people who spitefully use you. Like, this is what scripture says, and I'm just, saying from basic of proof, no disrespect to anyone's belief system. I want to make a notification that I want to, put, you know in words, no disrespect to anyone's religion, belief system, how they perceive things, how they carry themselves, how anything. No disrespect. All peace and love to all walks of life, however you see it. This is just a mere subject about if we should love our enemy outside of, let's say, no religion is involved, no anything is involved. Okay, to me, loving your enemy is the opposite of what the universe does. Okay, so if it's yin and yang, and love attracts love, love should not attract enemies. Like, you know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, why would you love something that the universe does not support? That does not make sense to me in that aspect, just coming from the natural perspective. If that makes any sense to anyone, just for myself, it's like, okay, naturally, I understand how the universe works. There's an up and down, there's a left and right, there's a yin and yang, there's a happy, there's a sad. So they say it's a good and bad. It's all these different things on the opposite side. Love and hate. Hate would be what an enemy would have to harbor in order to be an enemy to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm not throwing out no hate. So I don't look at an enemy like that. What I would do is, from my perspective, my idea of if we should love an enemy is no. You should not love your enemy. Respectfully, you should know your enemy, because from knowing your enemy, you have a better perspective of how you can carry yourself, how you perceive things based upon the information that they share with you. And if you know that your enemy is your enemy, you wouldn't be so likely to accept the things that they tell you are true for you just because they say it. You would go do research, and because the scripture has said something. Unfortunately, a lot of people just go with that, and they'll listen and accept anything. I have life experiences to prove to this. I have a 79-year-old mother who has been a Christian. I could say, since I was about 14 or 15, I could say that's when she, really, got saved or whatever and started really trying to press it on me. But because of that, me having to deal with her, help her, caregiver for her. And she's older now. And her memory is different. And she believes the way she believes, even though I've respectfully shown her facts of different things that could be as well, not to discredit what you see or any of you might believe, because I respect that. But, we can get some facts, and y'all can, we can go with that. And it wouldn't make any sense, for anyone to think that you should love your enemy based upon your own experiences. Everything that's been exposed to this world right now is pretty much clear. Like, it's clear. Like, if you don't think you have an enemy, or if you don't think that what's going on around us is from a perspective of some energy field that does not actually vibrate on your frequency, that does not have the better intention for you, then you'll really know, like, okay, it is a difference of something. You know what I'm saying? We do have enemies, but you can't love the energy that does not influence the positive love that you have. I think that's ludicrous. I think you're really taking away from the energy that you have to offer someone. That is from the love perspective. And when you're sharing it with someone that is your enemy, I feel like, it's an oxymoron. That's like kind of taking yourself out of the perspective of the frequency of things, you know? So what is the definition of enemy?
The definition of an enemy is a person who is actively opposed or hostile to something or someone. A hostile nation and its armed forces or citizens, especially in the time of war, or a thing that brings harm or weakness to something.
Okay, that's good enough. So we already know if you've had any experience with scripture, if you had anything with someone who is embedded in scripture that does not understand the scripture but wants to press you on it, when you understand it, you've gone through any type of situation with someone who is, dead set on seeing something a certain way without the facts, they're emotionally attached to something that they have not gotten facts for. And unfortunately, some of the people they loved and cared for probably, went on to glory or whatnot and left that with them. So it's no way they're going to be easily, persuaded or anything like that. It's just like, it just comes a time where, we have to, at this point, like I raise 11 children daily. I'm caregiving for, two elderly people. I'm taking care of myself first, having to having to focus on making sure I love me and understand that I can't show love without giving them love, but I can't share love with anyone who is not sharing that back with me in the sense of like enemy. I'm
Hey,
not saying, like I share love because I share love. I want to share love with every energy field that I come in contact with that is in vibrational context with me. I'm good. That's where I long to be. I'm speaking about the energy that is low vibrational. The energy of the people that hate you, that's been hating you since you started with them, your family, your relatives. No, your relatives, the one, excuse me, the ones who saw you from day one just struggle and don't give a damn, like we all struggle together. And just all of the ones who have always been opposition to you, and the ones who constantly looking at you but not checking on you. Like they'll see you do something and they check on you, but nobody's doing anything for you. Like don't nobody. And I'm not saying someone should do, but I feel like as family, as friends, as associates, as really like we supposed to be together. We supposed to be together. That's why I'm building my tribe. It's unfortunate I don't have many friends like outside of what you see on the screen. I know I have 7 men that I have something to do with, influencing, co-creating balanced relationships and giving them the freedom to know that they are who they are. I have 4 young goddesses that I know I'm influencing the freedom to think and to understand, to understand and to overstand the balances that they must carry as far as being, mothers of the earth and being melanated women and the cause of what the melanated man goes through in the first place and what is necessary to be a help to that. I have, my queen, my goddess that hey, look, let me tell you, I don't care how many years you're with someone, you learn something every day from them, especially when you love them and you care for them because you're going to pay attention to the detail. And to be honest, that's kind of like when you know that you're with who you're supposed to be with. That's kind of like what keeps you together throughout all of the thicks and the thins because you have them when you have an established foundation. I am living my legacy so that I can properly give my children a good inheritance because the legacy is lived. I can't leave the legacy. Only thing I can leave is an inheritance. I have to be the example for the legacy, and I am. I am the example. And I'm telling you, I take seriously this. That's why I say I'm not going to get my sons and my daughters to think that they should bow themselves to someone who does not mean them any well. Like you, I was taught, like I from Detroit, grew up on the west side. When I was younger, way back in the day, people from Detroit will know this. On 7 Mile and Southfield, it was a dojo. It was Lee Taekwondo right there on the corner. Like, and all the children in the neighborhood and everybody, a lot of people went there, but I went there. And one thing that I learned was never take your eye off your opponent. Like, you know what I'm saying? So your opponent, they just gave you the op opponent. Same thing to me. Like if it's somebody going against or challenging you to what you're attempting or intending to do. So you bow with your eyes pointed and looking at your opponent. So if you loved your enemy or your opponent, you bow your head and get hit in the back of your head, like you'll get your whole skull pulled out. So it's like that in life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? When you think that your enemy means you good, they patting you on your back and they stabbing you at the same time. They feeding you, telling you, oh, this is great for you, but your energy is getting further away from the frequency that we are supposed to be on to actually co-create a better relationship with one another and with the universe and just creation in general. I'm at this point. We all are here together. You know who your enemy is by the feeling that you have within your intuition. If you thought they loved you and you have that feeling that they don't, okay? Especially if you're doing what you're supposed to do to be the person that is a good human being and balanced. You know what I'm saying? It's like it goes that way. Just the universe, it goes that way. It's set to be that way. So I feel like turning the other cheek would just give a man the bravery to smack you in another on the other side. And where I'm from, where I grew up, it was no turning the cheek. You couldn't. If you turn the cheek, you're gonna get your ass whooped every day before you get killed or drugged or something gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. So it won't be none of that turn the other cheek in this society. If you want to forgive someone for some stupid things they say from a distance, that's a sense of turning the other cheek because you could forgive someone. I'm not saying hate anyone. I'm saying we know if you know like I do, if you have any kind of feeling about your life in terms of you being a spirit being here and everyone being one, whoever that is in front of you with the opposition, that's you in the first place. Okay. So if you need to go back to the mirror, if you got enemies that you see that you can see out front, you need to go to the mirror and find out why you hate yourself so much. Because it's interesting. I might not get no responses on this internet. Like I talk to people, I do what I do, come on here with a few videos and I, put positive peace and love and I place power out here, man. I'm commanding this power to reach you all from a love perspective. And I don't really get a lot of likes, but I'm not doing it for that because see what I got on the screen right here, as long as they are and getting this inside of themselves, I know when they go into the world, exactly what my intention is already being accomplished. So that's the objective. But I know it's a lot of men out here who have sons and daughters, who have wives, relationships, who have sons, maybe daughters they're raising by themselves, or they're doing it with a relationship with a person that is with them and not in the sense of the spiritual perspective and the balance and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you, get the relationship right with you. Love yourself, and you will see your enemy, and you will know your enemy, and then you don't have to hate your enemy. Don't use that energy. Don't use any energy to hate anyone. I wouldn't suggest that. It's strategic to just leave people alone, not and have no hate. Like you can really, really feel wonderful, about leaving someone alone, no hate. You could feel really up all the time by having hate in your heart for somebody when you think about them one or two times. Like you think about them, you have this hate feeling, it's all that energy, all that stuff that's bad for your energy and bad for your body goes into you just from that one thought. Like you could send love and get that out, no hate, and don't think about them and don't put no hate when you do think about them. You already can set an intention and have a mantra. Even when you think about them, you can reverse the hate thought to a positive thought that you verbalize. Every time you think about them, you commit yourself to say something positive. It's going to change the dynamics of the whole situation with the person, with the energy that you put out to receive from that, and then you won't get that. You pretty much anybody else that's in that vibration with you or attempting to be, you'll easily be able to shun them off. It won't be no nothing. But nah, I don't feel like we should love our enemy. We should know our enemy. Scripture is not, no disrespect to anybody who lives and dies by the scripture, but the scripture has been proven to be, not so correct. And then the people say that this person said this, but it's too much proof. And that's not a debatable fact. That's like a fact. It's not like a debatable subject. It's not an opinion. We could sit and go toe to toe with that, but I'm not doing it. I understand that I'm original creator. I'm the original, man that's created on this planet. No disrespect to any other culture because I love all cultures that love me respectfully. No disrespect. You know what it is. Do your history. We're the original. Since that is the case, everything came from us with respect to the energy and the spirit and the souls that we have, and the ones of us who have separated the two and the ones of us that don't have one or the other. You know what I'm saying? All I could say is this is we're here and we're supposed to be, sharing as much love as we possibly can to the love that is, the deserving of it. I don't see where it makes any sense where that a person does not love you. And they'll say Jesus died for your sins. Well, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. I wasn't there when that happened. I wasn't there when all these other things that they claim that is the reason for my salvation. I was, myself. I crucified my own self. I went through the, place of judgment on my own self and got to the point that I am. That's how I got to that point. I took and stripped myself of all of that nonsense that was plaguing my thought process and the things that I was sharing with my sons, my gods and goddesses. And, it just made me realize that I have something bigger to offer, because everything prior to me having any children, any, responsibilities of children, I've always been able to think and create what I've wanted, bad and good. So they say not so good and good. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I know that now I'm 5 decades plus. So I really know what my knowing is. I don't believe anything anymore. I used to believe, a lot of stuff. I used to believe, in most of these belief systems that I came through. Well, I never believed Christianity. I never could understand that. It never made sense to me. But I can say I believed in the Nation of Islam. I believed in Al Islam. I believed in Buddhism. I believed in everything else because it seemed like it was structured. And I believed in the Old Testament because it made sense. But when the twist came and all this other stuff, and then you got to do all this extra stuff, and you got to eat bodies and drink blood and all that, all that stuff seems like rituals. And I had read something about all of that. And it's not like the rituals that, that's some different stuff. So it just didn't make sense to me. No disrespect. Like I said, it's all love, because I say that my family who is Christian, I love y'all. I appreciate the love that y'all have within y'all, because I don't judge y'all by y'all belief system. I judge y'all by how y'all carry yourselves as human beings. And one thing that I know throughout my bloodline, on my grandfathers and on both sides, grandmother and grandfather, both sides, mother and father, real loving and helpful people, always trying to help somebody, will give you their last, will do things for. That is a trait of our culture. It has nothing to do with that religion that they attempted to make it seem as if that's what makes you that way. Nada. That's not the case. For me, it has been proven it's not the case. And I'm just saying, everybody who's a good person, like, all respect, I feel like they're a good person because they're channeling inside themselves. They came and they're dealing with their self. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes us good human beings. Shadow work, checking ourselves. You know that you exist on a high level, then you must respect that position and really be you know, in that line, in that lane. And I know I'm just speaking about it, but should we love our enemy? No, you should not love your enemy respectfully. You should know
No,
your
sir.
enemy, and you should give respect and give gratitude, be grateful and give thanks that you can identify your enemy. And one of the biggest things is, don't be so damn gullible to your enemy because they say something out of a scripture or something. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look. It does not fit us. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help you in your future now. It's not going to help you in your now. And if you think about it, it didn't help you in your past if you look over your memories. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who, I'm not, like I said, I'm not objecting to, like, just going against nobody who sees something a certain way. This is what I know for myself. My knowing is, I I would rather, I cannot love my enemy because it's been hard enough for me to love myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to love myself in order to even be able to recognize that my enemy was in me. Like, I had to get that away first so I could get a grip on what is with this whole process. Because when you got eyes looking at you, I don't care if you got one child, two children, if you got people, a spouse, if you got your mom and dad, people who depending on you, a little brother, little sister, anything like that, and it really matters what they think about you, how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself and the progress that you're making, then it means something to, how you get right with yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror, and it's like you looking at yourself in the mirror from the eyes of the loved one that you want to, have love and respect for you. And the only way we do that is via the action. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the action. So if we moving like that, I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite. I don't care if you're a Muslim, a Christian. I don't care what you are. Let's not talk about that part. Let's be about the action of love. And let's not get into a conversation where you're trying to tell me, well, brother, you should you should be a little more. No, you should be a little more whatever the hell, and we should just focus on what we have in each other, in my lane, your lane. Let's drive side by side and push this shit forward, rather than debate about. Because I know it's gonna be somebody, if it's anybody. I mean, it's gonna be opposition everywhere, but people will always say, "Yeah, what the Bible say." The Bible say. My mom been hitting me with that for a long, long time, and I've proven to her time after time it didn't work for you. It's not working for you. It has not worked for you. All I ever see is, and when you have a parent, you have both your parents who have not, really made it in life where you would want to go, and they haven't offered you anything, and they really can't. It's going to be hard as hell for them to tell you based upon their belief system, especially that this is how you're supposed to do it. When the proof is in the action, and yeah, I can look at a preacher and say, oh, he's got a lot of stuff, but I ain't talking about no stuff. I'm talking about the connection to the spirit, like the connection to source. You knowing that you are, and you don't have to go outside of you, and that you have a lot of the power that you have is not to hate, not to hold grudges. The closest people to me held grudges, long term grudges from me for years. My mother, especially. But I'm gonna tell you, that's been my trial. Like I've had to all the way up until probably like a few days ago. Every time I go through something with her, it's like I have an awakening. But now, because her memory is different, I'm in a different space. I understand half of the stuff she says that she doesn't even remember that she said it. And because she's been so in a loop of things, of how she sees things, it's kind of like that's how she kind of creates her new conversations within that loop. And sometimes it's just, I'm learning, but I'm all the way live for her. I ain't gonna let nothing. I'm gonna make sure she can, instills her happiness, because I can joke around with shit. I don't get offended no more. Normally she says some shit like she said the other day, I would have snapped. I would have been like, wait a minute, hold on, and respect. You know what I'm saying? Respect. I would have snapped. I would have been in a whole different state of mind. But now I'm like, wait a minute, I feel so much compassion for my mom and how she has to maneuver. I took her someplace on Thursday of last week, and I was just watching her, just watching her. This made me emotional too, because I had to see her. She was getting some hair off of her jacket, and she was. When I looked at my mom, I felt like I was looking at my little girl, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very emotional for me. And then she was trying to do something. I was telling her, hey, baby, don't worry about that. It's not even that important, man. When people see hair on you like that, they know you got animals. They know you loved, because animals mean love to us. And I understand you don't want a whole bunch of hair on you, but all is well. Because I didn't want her to start, like, because she'll get caught up in something and go through it for a minute. So I just had to stop that. And but it's like she's thankful for everything. Every time we pull up to something, thank you, Lord, thank you, God. That southern respect and love. But just like I had to tell my mom, baby, you got to stay in the mirror so you could make sure you love yourself. Because for you to have so many negative opinions about everybody else, I will that, I just will balance for all of us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a process. But what I was saying is that when I took her where she was going, she was remembering things from other places. It looked familiar to her. She thought she was there. And I was like, I'm realizing that my mom's uh, memory is getting way worse. So I've had to dial back my aggressiveness when it come down to her. But made me realize, like, okay, I look at how she believes is the reason she's in the position she's in. Most of the people sick, have had heart attacks. My mom's battling. Well, she's not battling. We're gonna call her cured because of the way she carries herself. It's just her memory. But she's been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and both her breasts, her colon, and all kind of stuff. So she's actually a walking miracle. She's not supposed to be here right now, according to them. But she's here to be who she is. She's here to experience this thing. But I'm just, like I said, I will that all the love and energy and power that I have from the most compassionate place, that she really, really knows, as her memory goes away, how much I love her and how much I really, really desire for her life to be comfortable, and not to make her have to argue, feel like she's got to argue or try to force something. And thank you so much, Justin, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, that I can, even make you feel anything about this, because it's facts, man. You know what I'm saying? The enemy is against us. If you're loving who's against you, I feel like, we're frequency beings, we're energy. We're supposed to be on a certain love frequency, and you taking that away to share it with someone who is obviously pulling you down, pulling your energy, making sure that they keep you in a certain place. And that's with society, that's with the media, that's with the music, that's with all of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's against our youth. If you got a child, man, I say, do your best to, be as honest with them, as open with them, as transparent with them. Don't sugarcoat nothing with them. Don't hide anything from them. Don't think that they're not too old to see or understand something coming from you, because coming from somewhere else, yeah, they might be too young. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know about that too young thing, because I know that I saw things at a way early age, and the way I saw them, made me not want to do stuff. And some things I saw made me want to do stuff. So I kind of like channel that and kind of look at it like, okay, let me be mindful how I, carry myself in front of my seeds, all of them, because every time I look around, anywhere I look, all the time I look, I got eyes on me. Okay, so I said it's 11 children in my home, 11, beings that are my seeds in my home, 7 gods and 4 goddesses, and they're here with me every day, and everybody sees me all day, like, because I caregiver for my parents and I work with them, and we're interacting, we always together, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's a clear, clear, line of communication that I want to have, that I command to have, and I let them know, man, I want to be the guy I want my children to be like, if they do some shit, they get into trouble for something, or something happens where they have to face up to something, I want to be the first one to know. I don't want it to be like, damn, I can't tell daddy, man. I can't, man, don't tell daddy, man. Please don't tell. I don't want none of my sons, my daughters, my king, my gods and goddesses, my kings and queens to feel like they have to have some type of fear. I want the respect, but I want it mutual. I give it to them so I can receive it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. And I've learned over time that's going to be a must. I learned that as far as I learned that as far as like life is concerned. Just for real. You bad, crisis. My bad. My bad. Yeah. I learned that in life. I'm an only child. I've had to get in the field on my own. I had to be on my own. So I'm at peace. But should we love our enemy? No, we should know our enemy. Not, you don't even have to hate your enemy, because it takes too much energy away from you and where you stand and the power that you have when you're dealing with your enemy. And if you take that hate and, turn it into, awareness, then your intuition ain't gonna never let someone who is not, for you be around you, and you not know it. You will just, if anything, you will just go against the feeling and allow them, because you want to be around the person. But if you go with your intuition, go with your inner, self, inner, like what is going on with you, I promise you, you will not, it won't fail you. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten older, and like I said, my intuition has kicked in so much. I know I talk to a lot of older gentlemen all my life. I've always dealt with older people, and they told me I would get to this. They told me I would get to, if I had children, I would be having feelings and premonitions of different things, and I would have to adjust. And I really, really have learned that the parenting thing, when you decide to be a parent, when you decide to be a father, a melanated father, knowing what the access is to them in this world, and that the enemy exists, and unfortunately, they're begging you to love them, and if you're not properly instructed, you will, because it's not much stuff you know, if you don't have it coming from you, it's not much stuff to love. It's a lot of stuff that simulates a false feeling of what may be something you can love, and you go through those extremes, and then you go through some changes. We all got it going on. We all got some things that we've dealt with. It's all respect. It's all love. It's not, to be felt or, disrespectful at all. It's just my knowing. I'm gonna call it an opinion for anyone who's listening, but this is my knowing. No, I don't love my enemy, nor will I love my enemy. I will not hate my enemy, but I will not deal with my enemy. I know how to do my life without even being, involved with my enemy. You know what I'm saying? You change when you know things are against you. You just change your format, change your blueprint. It's always ways. All you got to do is listen to your intuition.
Yes, sir, of course.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
exactly. You're saying about the about social media and everything. Like, yeah, because I got like 548 posts, and you see like not many people. And I've reached out to a lot of people, like business opportunities and this and that, but not many responded. So I'd rather be in a outside environment than to try to connect with people online, because you can tell obviously that they're not in the reality of what's going on. Anything because you're behind the screen as well, that you got the same thing going on as them. But in
Right.
reality, like it's not even the case. Like,
Yeah. No, that's true. You know what I was saying earlier. Yeah, you brought back that point. What I was saying about this no likes and stuff on the internet, I'm good with that. But when I go out in the streets, I get so much love from humanity. I'm talking about
yes,
all cultures. I don't have to say nothing. I mean, I get so much love from people. Like, so I get it. My job is in the field anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
I will that I could reach people via the internet, because I know that if we can. I will. I command that I do reach those that I'm supposed to. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show up for that. And I'm not going to tell you to love, 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 love your enemy. I'm saying
yes,
love, 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 love yourself, so you'll know your enemy, so that you can identify and love those who truly love you, and give love to the ones that need it. Your enemy don't need your love, because he got enough energy using against you. He got enough of his shit built up to hate you, to be your enemy. So why would you take out yours to do him? And you know, it's like, it's nonsense to think that, why would you let anyone, it's, I guess it's a matter of belief, like it is. Like, cuz if your system's telling you that the individual or the deity that you serve, said that, then you would believe that. But I would even do research about that, because the deity that they said that is really, like, it's so much question about that. And if you realize, or if you can see that your life is not lining up at all with how they told you, or how they keep on telling you that, then I would just personally go to the mirror and get deep, get deep, and be honest with yourself, because the mirror won't lie to you. You know what I'm saying? You will only lie to you, but what's in that mirror, with inside of the depthness of your eyes, when you get there, it won't be no lying. You know what I'm saying? It won't be no lying. It's gonna be check mode, check mode. You dig what I'm saying? So it is what it is, and it's
Yes,
love
sir.
and peace. And I wanted y'all to speak on what y'all feel about that, because no, I know how I've influenced you all. Hold on, I know how I've influenced you all, and I also know how I've acted in front of you all.
yes, sir.
But
Yes,
at the
sir.
same time, I know you all have your voice of opinion, and I'm not opposed to it. And y'all
Yes,
just go according to, like, y'all figure that out, and just don't cut each other off. All is well.
Yes,
And
sir.
yes, sir.
young Camille, you need to fix your R. You got two E's on your name.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna just say what I was gonna say real quick.
Go ahead. You need to turn your mic on, or
Okay.
get up closer to it.
All right. So like you were saying about just don't love your enemies. Basically, don't give them too much leeway, because the instant you start loving your enemy, you got other things going on around you, and you don't want it to be to the point to where you're like, okay, well, maybe so. Then everything be going all good. Then this one big thing happen, and then your enemy is right there, attempting to bring you opposition just because you love them. You got For everybody you love, you got a soft spot for it, so you don't want to create a soft spot for somebody who don't really love you in return, because that's
Facts.
just giving them up. And
Facts.
that's just where I wanted to speak at, because that's the only thing I could pretty much think of is just the advantage. You don't want to give nobody the advantage. For everybody you love, it's always going to be the side of an opening. You don't want to let an opening for an enemy, because
Good
they're going
point.
to be the ones who cause the tragic.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Because brothers, sisters, we've had the experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've had the experience. We don't have to go into it on this, but y'all know it's a situation where you find out that the person you love really is your enemy. Hey, stop loving their ass. Know that or either love them from a distance, allow them to be, don't tolerate no shit though, because the universe has laws, and one of them is allowing. But
Yes,
if it comes to tolerating, and you get some kind of feeling about it, then you're tolerating, and that's wrong. You're going against, that's the sin, because anything you do, a real sin is anything you do against you, not against
Yes.
whatever else. It's against you, because you are the vessel, you are the source energy. We all, I say every time, I am source energy. God, Coach King Malik. I say that because I am source energy. All of us are source energy. Even those listening, those, over there talking about I ain't no source energy, I'm a whatever, I'm a little G and all of that. I'm gonna give you this example. I was watching 19 Keys and Billy Carson. I got mad respect for both of those kings, right? And I'm sending them love like, yo, peace to the gods. I appreciate this information. May your bloodline be blessed, eternally, and unlimited love, peace, and power. I sent that. And then some melanated female, which I don't know why sisters want to think that they, got something going on like that. I don't know what the deal is with that. But felt like she gonna get on my post, which was to directly to 19 Keys and Billy Carson, and say, we're not gods with a big G, we're the little G's, and this, that, and the other. And I read that and I was like, that was the same day that my mother was on her stuff. And I was like, wow, the nerve of, and I know that energy is just necessary to have shown up because I needed to address it. So I said, very respectfully, this message was directed towards 19 Keys and Billy Carson. It was not for you to give me an opinion, or I was not asking for ideology. Very respectfully, you can call yourself whatever you choose. You know what I'm saying? See, I know that's the enemy. I know that's the enemy. I didn't get on and cuss her out, and because I could have mic checked her. I could have mic checked her just based upon her getting her big head ass on there trying to tell me something. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
true.
saying no disrespect, because what I noticed was she had a big old head. Like, okay, I wouldn't have even noticed that if she wouldn't have came with that negative stuff, because I don't look at people like that. It's when people put up the negative energy or put forth some kind of opposition is when you notice the flaws in them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not looking for flaws, because I don't, like I said, I'm not on no judge stuff. But it's mighty funny when you bring up that low energy, how the low part of you seems to show. Like, you see one person, you don't even recognize that they are not attractive. And when they're talking, they talking really good and they're really attractive because the energy that's coming from 'em. You don't even recognize the shell. And then all of a sudden they say something stupid in response to something. And you realize, whoa, I didn't even see that. I did not recognize that, whatever you might see at that point, but it's respect. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you recognizing the hearts of my kings and what I do. I know you've been with us for a minute. We've been going back and forth for a minute, just sharing respect, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm just, because I'm on the messenger, but I'm not really, on the messenger typing back, but I see it pop up and I just want to thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for recognizing my intentions, because it's sincere. You, as long as you've been knowing me and paying attention to what my intentions are, you know that this is the truth. This is real. It's not going to change other than get more expand. It's just going to expand to more, high vibrational energy, because we're coming. We're coming to, I command that, that I commanded already that we, have our space. So now we're here. Like, we're here to actually do what we can in the aspect of, because I know it's a lot of fathers, it's a lot of people that need assistance with, their children, their relationships, they're just people they deal with. And I got a couple of things that I do that I've been able to do and share with people that are really, really do. They have helped. They've really helped. And because most of them, well, all of them are finished with school. They've been finished with school for a few years now, at start like 14 and 15. And, so I've been dealing with them as grown-ups since they've been young, because you're going to be a grown-up way longer than you're going to be a child. They say, let a child be a child. Well, in these times, a child has to really know how to, you know, be aware. And as a child, you might not have much of a whole bunch of awareness, because you want them to have enjoy their lives and playing and whatever you got going on. I just feel like awareness, they'll get to play in their life. They'll get to play throughout their life. They'll get to get a understand inner. They'll get to have a over understanding of who and what they are, and they'll get to really enjoy life, and it won't be like as a child. Now, I'm not saying no miss childhood, happiness, because I feel like it's very, very important. But that just comes from showing love. You know what I'm saying? But being serious about understanding, understanding, and overstanding that this is a process, and we're here as a spirit having this physical experience, and we got some stuff to handle while we're here. You know what I'm saying? And this process is really a true and serious process, and I will not lose. You know what I'm saying? I will not lose. I will not submit myself to nonsense and just be on the low energy and vibration of things where my children see that they've had to see me reinvent myself. They've had to see me on the lowest part, and they've had to see me on the highest part. They've seen me like really change my perspective of things right in their face because of how I carried myself. For years, I was a Muslim, and we prayed 5 times. They all were born into the faith 5 times a day. They didn't miss no prayers for all of their life. Like we, Ramadan every year, consistent. Going to the mosque on Fridays, Juma, every consistent. Like really, and then I woke up and realized that nothing is outside of me that is not better for me. Like, and no disrespect, because I'm so grateful for all the experiences. I needed to, experience that so that I would have the balance to be able to share with them a broader expected perspective, because everything is gray in religion to me. Like, you can only go so far, because anything that tells you that the next man is not as equal to you, or if what he's doing is not acceptable, then there we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? We have an issue, because if it's love, it's respect, and you doing you and I'm doing me, then I shouldn't have no nothing about what you. And it's only a few of them that want to bash each other, but the few of them are the ones that are the most important to society and the Western society and the cultures and stuff. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Justin, man. The children do know, they do know better and more. And I'm gonna tell you, when you give them information from a pure organic space, then I get a lot, man. I get a lot in return, because I decided to trust my children with the information that I have, and we're growing together. Like, I've learned so much. First of all, I had to erase my fucking memory bank. I had to erase everything, because I learned everything that I learned was a lie, and it's still like, because we were raised this way, we still got to do things to figure out how to be in this world, and examples to the people that love us, especially our children, while we're recovering from the trauma of the not knowing shit, and then having to deal with what we got from our parents, and like forgiving them, and realizing, like, just 2 days ago I realized my mom, man, I got a lot of compassion. She's like, she got to deal with the transition. I'm just willing the ancestors will accept my intention, and well, I know that that's the case. I'm just putting myself in a position for the ancestors to receive her well, based upon anything that we may not understand here. And if I got it wrong, then I know my intention will carry me just fine. But I know I don't. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't, based upon my own experience. And see, everybody can be upon their own knowing, but it's about being honest and real with yourself. I'm totally at peace, and I'm humbled by this situation, because what I thought was for so many years of my life, I realized was not. Now I've had to, redirect my whole thing, like, So we here, and willfully, like, I'm just gonna not even that. I command to continue forcibly and intentionally showing love and eternal power, unlimited love, with the respect to those who can receive it, those who are, balanced and, prepared for what is. And that's to be able to receive, you got to be lined up. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me for that. Yep. But all is well. We just, we're here together. We're, let me see. Absolutely. The living of 21st century. Those cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, don't learn. Man, that's a true statement, Justin. Absolutely, man. So, if you guys want to say anything, it's respect. I will go ahead, Amir. You're welcome to speak, and you guys can do that. You guys can keep it, because y'all even in the same place, different location, same place. Y'all can work that out.
Yes.
So
But I want to elaborate a little further on what you were saying about an enemy. An enemy is a person who actively opposes something or someone. The Latin word enemy, inimicus, meaning hostile, unfriendly, is the root of enemy, and it comes from the prefix in or not. Amicus, friend. An enemy, in means not, and amicus is friend. So an enemy is not a friend.
Right. That's deep.
It's fun. It's funny because you cooperate and associate with people over the years. You do your best for them, while on the sidelines they're thinking of every way they can go against you, or how they really feel about you is anywhere near close to how you feel about them. You be wondering why things are going on, things keep happening in your vicinity. Like you could be accused of something and you don't know who accused you, even though you had nothing to do with it. And you could have somebody who doesn't necessarily really like you around and could also be the reasoning for that, even though you've also been a good person all the way up to that point. Enemies tend to want to be the kind of people who are willing to put you down, make you feel worse than you are the ones who are quickest to throw you up under the bus, are the quickest to shift the blame onto you, throw important things onto you that they could easily handle themselves.
Right.
It goes pretty deep as far as that goes, because we had people in our lives who were considered family until they became enemies, but they made themselves that. We weren't doing we had our own way of being, and if their way of, when we upgraded our way of being, they showed their true colors. Every single person who is clean, every single person that just in the last year, like the last year 2021, a lot of people we thought would still be here are definitely not, because of our vibrational change. They just didn't fit our vibration enough to be in it. So they're literally physically not in our vibration. And it's 1, 2, 3 o'clock right now. But to elaborate a little further on that, we got to be mindful about who we take and carry around with us, who we share information with, who we claim we trust, who we basically who we keep around us to the fullest capacity. Like, because you could have, there have been many instances where people get in a relationship with somebody, and they have their own family members who actually care for them. Some people will be more quick to go believe what their own spouse is saying over their own family who's been there for years and years. Like, they'll be like, oh, you're just doing, like, they'll get offended by the fact that you point out something that you notice that's off about that person you're with. And if they got a good enough influence on that person, you'll be quicker to believe the person you got with instead of the people you've been with. So if you end up canceling everybody out in your life because you think they're all the worst, and then you come to realize that you're dealing with the enemy head on, like you got the enemy with you, living with you, breathing near you, doing all this. Not only do you realize your error, but it's too late to go back and make amends, because you went and you were so quick to throw somebody up under the because you're so quick to throw somebody up under the bus based upon your own opinion of somebody, when all you had to do is just broaden your perception. Like, whether somebody saw something in somebody or not, like, you could point out, like, hey, this person, I just saw them take something of yours. Like, I just saw them take something and stick it in their pocket. I don't know if that's something you should be paying attention to. And the gullible people will be like, oh, it's nothing. I'm sure they just grab something and it's just something small. You see, if you let small things get away, they carry over into even bigger things. They bleed over and they become, I wouldn't say problems, because problems last. They become issues, because if you finally realize where you're at and who you are as a person, you'll be quicker to notice an issue in your vicinity and you can clear it out. Now, if you're one of those kind of people, if you're one of those kind of people who, if you're one of the kind of people who feel like you can't be told anything, or or no one else's opinion matters more than your own, sometimes you don't even realize you may be your own worst enemy.
Yeah, we do realize that after we go through some growth.
That was my tip, but that was my take on it. I didn't want to seem like I was on too long.
And I want to
you're
touch.
good. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's exactly right. It's not worth it trying to believe your enemy over anything or try to show them no extra love, because deep down inside, the more you do that, the more you're gonna get associated with them. Who they're dealing with. The next thing you know, you're in a even worse place because you decided to keep dealing with these people you knew or know aren't, serving you in the first place. And that's what I learned throughout my whole life. After everybody I've dealt with through work and through family and through relatives and everything, I've learned, like, family is who you make it. Family is who you can realize, inside of somebody. If you realize somebody's on some nonsense or anything, you don't have to believe them. Go by your first mind, because even on the internet, I've been out a lot, but I have by myself, haven't been out. But like, just the times that I've been out, just realizing, like he said, there's a lot of good people. You go out, there's a lot of good people you can attract online. I don't really, I'll hit people up. I don't get no responses. I got like 548 posts on like multiple accounts. I don't get like really no likes. So I'm like, I don't mind the internet, but I'm more of a sober person who will go out because it's a better way to, create opportunity. And I know that. So I'm like, but like what is stemming from basically, if you want to love your enemy, then be ready to cut the head off of your enemy, because they're going to, when you show extra love, then it's automatically, what it's going to lead to. So if you decide you want to still show love to somebody, then you have to be willing to make that second step, because you already know certain times when you show too much love, it'll lead to this and to that. So, that's just my take on it. That's just truth from experience, and that's just what it is.
And Amir, I wanted to touch on something you were saying, especially about the like when people are disguised as enemies. Um, I don't know if we were leaving out of California headed to Alabama, or if we were coming back from Alabama and headed back to California. But we were about 5 minutes. Okay, we were going into Alabama, but we were 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes out of right from the entrance of Texas out of New Mexico. And
Years.
we ended up having to pull over because somebody made a claim, an assumption, actually an accusation, saying that there was somebody brandishing an AK right out the front window. Now, mind you, it's me, it's my 11 siblings, and both grandparents, both parents, and 12 dogs at the time. So, first of all, we have no reason to do that. Second of all, we pull over to the side of the road. There's like 6, 7 police cars behind us, all of them guns drawn right at the van. My mother had to get out the van, step like literally walk backwards just to hear that there was an accusation made. We were caught up over there for about like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then was able to get back on our way. But it's experiences like those that show that there are people you don't even have to see them. Now, of course, there's always going to be those few people that are with you that see them ahead of time, but then by the time something takes place, and they really look back on it, they're gonna be able to be like, "Oh, it actually was them. My intuition was
Yeah,
telling
I
me right."
did. I recognized them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure. Jealousy, the energy of jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
He gave a compliment with a twitch in his face. Man, that's a nice rig you got there, man. Really, really like with a hate look on his face. Like, why in the hell are these Negroes riding across the country with one of those and all of those? And then they look happy. What the hell is going on here? We're going to put some monkey wrench in their shit. And I just, I'm not even with that black white. I got a culture, it's a melting pot of friends. Y'all see who come through to see us. You know what I'm saying? It ain't on that. Don't get it twisted. I know that who I am, and I know that what I offer, but because of me being, having a clarity of being, original creation, I'm supposed to love everyone. We're supposed to love everything that pretty much we had something to do with, in the sense of like, no disrespect to anyone. I'm talking about from a love perspective, because man, if I could look at everyone and feel loved, and like for myself, if I could look at myself and look at everyone and feel love for them as a result, then I need to be loving myself way more. Focus on loving myself way more, because I really do. I know that that's what it is. It's the key. It's the key. Love is the key to whatever belief or whatever thing you got going on. It actually gets to that. And then what I've noticed is me wanting to know more about, what I have to offer as a human being while I'm in this experience, and how I can utilize my spirit being as a power source to do that type of thing. The more The more I learn, the more I come in contact with, I realize that, really it's us really listening to our intuition, sharing the vibration that we have. And if you're really like grateful, then man, it's just it feels good to help somebody. It feels good to say something good to somebody. See, it feels good to hear something or know that you have something to offer. It could be the worst thing that you went through, but I can share it with you and tell you how I came out of it. And if it can help you a little bit, then I desire for it to do that. And I don't know. Like I said, as far as an enemy is concerned, I can't say that I would love any enemy. I just would know my enemy, and enemy does not have to stay an enemy either. So that is something I want to express as well. If you carry yourself and you know your enemy and you strategically deal with them in a different way, you might be able to show them why it is they even hate themselves to hate you. And that's not without saying any words. That's just with action. That's just with carrying yourself a certain way and not, putting hate off on the fact that you know they're your enemy. And I'm not talking about like the system when things come down to that bigger thing. Just, hey, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because it's nothing we can individually do to that enemy to stop them, like for what they do, other than don't buy in, don't feed into the crap. Like, don't hate the man next to you just because he looks different than you or he has something different than you or something like that, or because for whatever reason. Don't hate people for the decisions that they make. Give people a break. Like, be a little compassionate with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do that. Try attempt to do that. If you have not done it, if you the hardest thing cracking, then try to not be soft, because I ain't telling nobody to do that, but just try to add a little compassion in there. You know, do a little something. Let somebody see the other side that you know that you have, whether or not you know it or not. Like, pull it out. Do something. Do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just something positive, something that can share some love or show some power. You know what I'm saying? Just positive. Nobody's saying you have to be, holier than thou in the process either, because some of the hoodest people do some of the best things. I know, because I am. I have been and I am. And, I know when you can go places and you see stuff that can be done in some of the places that you have access to, you should be doing it. You should be helping every situation you have access to clean out some of the stuff, because I do feel like good deeds overweigh bad deeds. I feel like you can kind of know you doing something that's not balanced, and you can go do balanced stuff, and you can kind of balance that out. I'm not saying that you might not have to pay some kind of due, but I know that it will be less. You won't have to experience maybe so much pain or whatever, or if something that happens, you'll get a better response from it. It won't affect you as bad. But that's it for what I wanted to say for today. It was just like, should we love our enemy? And I say very respectfully, know
No.
your enemy. Don't love your enemy. Know your enemy. Don't hate your enemy. Know your enemy so that you'll know how to, strategically deal with your enemy. And you'll know exactly if you know your enemy, you can kind of play chess. You can kind of see the moves, because you know, the enemy that I see is very, very kind of slow. Like, what I'm saying? It's been all my life I've been seeing what the enemy has been doing. But I'm grateful now that the society has changed and we're in the, time of the Aquarius, and all of these things have changed. And vibrationally, I've learned about the numbers, astrology, and, all of these things, numerology, because I realize now that it all makes sense. It's kind of like something to assist you, just to have a guideline for your intuition to decide, because you don't have to believe none of it, but at least you know would you rather I rather look up at the stars, the sun, and the moon, and see them, understand and learn something about them, than listen to somebody holding a book telling me what it was before and they wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yes,
everybody got the same book on the title, but there's so many different things on the inside of the book. And it's respect. Like I said, I very, very much do not have the desire for anyone to feel like I am putting forth negative energy about anyone's religion, belief, way of life, cause of life, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, based upon certain things that I've learned in my own perspective, own experience, and then what I see from people loving their enemy, how they're being taken advantage of as a result of you thinking you're supposed to love your enemy. You're missing the point. You're missing what they're really doing to you. So willfully we all wake up, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the awakening moment. And every time you wake up, you can wake up more. And, let's see what we can do, to do the best we can to share. So I am Source Energy, God Coach King Malik with my young God Kings. And I am the universe's best example of unlimited love and eternal power. God Coach God King Malik.
Peace, love, infinite healing, and wellness. Nasir McCullough is my I, also known as KS3 Revolutionary. We will and intend you continue to enjoy every single second of your now, and will and intend you have received some value through this to be able to pass on to others, whether it's through information or just the vibration that you receive just being here. Because regardless of if you are consciously aware of it or not, just after listening to this or even just tapping in with this for a few minutes, completely raise your vibration from the standpoint that it was, and you're going to see these things play out just not only through your day but through your life in general. That's really giving you the signs to assist you with moving forward in that aspect. We're all examples for one another to be able to do better, for we're all reflections of each other. So definitely infinite healing and wellness be upon you all.
Please like and subscribe if it did anything for you, if it can assist anyone you may know, if it can cause conversation, because I'm open for questions. Please put questions in the chat, and even after this is on the if it's a replay, I'll answer the questions, and I'll be glad to communicate on several levels, because like I said, I do coaching, really influencing and motivating. Not really. I guess you can consider that, but I don't really consider that, because motivation can easily go away. You know what I'm saying? You could be motivated about something for a quick second and it can go away. So I kind of consider myself an influencer because of my action and going through it. And I can share with you ways to, do certain things to change things, especially have a better relationship with your seeds. Because that's what my thing is, the youth. I'm focused on my youth. I'm focused on everything youth, as a melanated father, as a, friend, as a husband, as a son, as a, associate, as whatever I can be to assist. If it's anything that, and we deep, man, 22 plus years, 23 years, 12 children, 11 in the home, taking care of 2 elders, one who beat addiction and one who is, dealing with memory issues. And my father, he's very, he doesn't move very much because he's got arthritis really bad, but his mental status is A1000. He's very, very sharp.
Fact.
So that I'm grateful for it. But all is well, and that for everyone, be blessed, be infinitely and eternally blessed.
Now and forevermore.
Ashe.
Ashe.